This could be a short and sweet one video. This is one of those things that you dream about, but then you realize nothing's going to come of this. Nothing's going to happen. But still seeing that someone's attempting to and they're gaining at least a tiny bit of ground makes you pleased as punch. George W. Bush war crimes trial begins in California court. What? What is this nonsense? The Onion? I'm looking down here. What? No. Former President George W. Bush may face trial at a California court for committing war crimes in Iraq in an unprecedented announcement made by the U.S. Court of Appeals. The United States Court of Appeal for the Ninth Circuit today confirms that Judges Susan Graber and Andrew Hurwitz will hear arguments on December 12th in the case of Salah v. Bush. Salah v. Bush involves claims by an Iraqi woman, Sundus Shakir Saleh, that former President George W. Bush and other high-ranking Bush-era officials broke the law when they planned and waged the Iraq War. Salah alleges that former Bush administration leaders committed the crime of aggression when they planned and executed the Iraq War, a war crime that was called the Supreme International Crime at the Nuremberg trials in 1946. Salah is appealing the immunity provided to the defendants by the District Court in December of 2014. We are pleased that the Ninth Circuit will hear our argument. To my knowledge, this is the first time a court will entertain arguments that the Iraq War was illegal under domestic and international law, her attorney said. This is also the first time since World War II that a court is being asked to scrutinize whether the war itself was an illegal act of aggression, a special war crime that was defined at the Nuremberg trials in 1946. Komar is handling Saleh's case pro bono. Well, my opinion here, yeah, that was a war crime. Because if you recall, and I don't know the general's name, he was on TV, he was on Democracy Now! Not that I care about that channel all that much, but he was on there saying this years ago. He went into the Pentagon, and an underling of some type came up to him. Hey, yeah, we're going to go into Iraq. Iraq? It was right after 9/11. Iraq? What are we doing over there? I thought we were going to, what the hell was it? Afghanistan. Yeah, I know, sir, but I just got word we're going to Iraq. What the hell? Why are we doing that for? I don't know. That was his comment. Why are we going to Iraq? Iraq has nothing to do with 9/11. Okay? Assuming the oral argument takes place, the argument will be live streamed and recorded on the Ninth Circuit's YouTube channel, permitting members of the public to watch the argument. The court's calendar commences at 9 a.m. Pacific time on December 12th. The case will likely be heard later in the morning as it is last on the court's calendar. In addition to former President Bush, they've named former administration officials Richard Cheney, Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, Donald Rumsfeld, and Paul Wolfowitz as defendants in the case. You want to talk about getting all the neocons together. Whoever this is did a great job in pointing them out. In December 2014, the district court dismissed their lawsuit, holding that the defendants were immune from further proceedings because of the Federal Westfall Act of 1988. The Westfall Act immunizes former federal officials in civil lawsuits if a court determines that the official was acting pursuant to the legitimate scope of his or her employment. Again, if we're supposed to be going to Afghanistan to deal with Mr. Osama bin Laden and his band of pesky terrorists, you can't go into Iraq and kill Saddam Hussein and have his people hang him while we went looking for him, because we did go in and invade. Salah disputes the immunity, arguing that the planning and waging of war of aggression against Iraq fell outside the legitimate scope of employment of former President Bush and the other defendants. And I'm going to tell you now, I agree completely. We had no reason whatsoever to go over there. What were we told? Weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. We didn't find any. So number one, that's a reason that was a lie. So that in and of itself is kind of enough reason, right? Or are they going to argue, well, but our intelligence said it was. And as an acting president and my cohorts next to me of neocons, we have to act on the information. We just had bad information, Your Honor. Oh, you're right, Mr. Bush, former president. Case dismissed. Case dismissed on that one. You worked off of bad information. Can't fault you for that. It's not your fault. You didn't make the information up, correct? You got it from the CIA. Right. Anyways, I kind of chuckled a minute when I saw this. Oh, cool. That's fantastic. I'd love for something to happen here. And then, of course, I realized immediately, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, they're going to go after Bush, and the courts are going to allow that. Yeah, sure. What planet am I on right now? So I had to share that with you. We can hope, can't we? Take care.